This is Freedom Creative Solutions, and these are our Freedom tutorial videos. This video is going to be an overview on how to utilize one of the best page builders on the web for WordPress, and that's Elementor. Today I'm going to go over how to add a section. Then we're going to add in columns. We will add in our content, and then we'll go into styling. Right? So as you can see, this page is looking pretty nice, but I need to add in another section. I'm not going to go over the top, like for instance this little border around the images you see here. I'm not going to be adding that in because I want to make this as simple as possible for the beginner. This is just a rough idea of what you can accomplish with Elementor. Okay? So first off, we're going to add in a section, and you can do this two different ways. I can find a section that already exists and hover my mouse over it, and this blue handle should pop up with these three different options. And if you hover over long enough, it'll tell you what each of these sections do. This is add section, this is edit section, and this is delete section. We want to add a section, so if you simply click on that, then this box will pop up, and then you'll see these two icons, a plus symbol and a folder icon, which is to add a template, which I will go into later in another video. For now, you'd click on this. And then you would choose how many columns you want in your section. This varies heavily on what your goal is and what you're trying to accomplish. Right now, I just want a one column section. So click on that, and here I've created a brand new section. Another way you can utilize this is by simply scrolling down to the very bottom, and there'll already be a section that's very similar to the one I showed you before, with the purple or pink plus symbol and the folder icon, and the same rules apply. Again, if you don't want a section, you can just simply click on the X button. Okay. And another thing you can do is you can utilize this and move it around by holding down your mouse button and dragging it around. I want this on the bottom, so I'm going to drag it down here. Now, the thing we noticed here is that this section is a little small, and you can tell because there's this blue bold border line around it, and this is telling you how wide this section is. I need it to be wider and full screen, like this one. So there's a little section in the middle called Edit section. If you click on that, then on the far left hand side, Elementor's detail section has changed, and you'll see a section called Layout. First, I want to stretch my section, and I need to figure out how wide I want my content. When I say that, I mean, if you look up at the top at this example up above, there's actually some space in between the corners of the window and where the content lies. That's because there's been a width assigned to this particular section. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do here. That's why you see this dotted line right here. That means this is as far as your content will stretch. So let's add in some columns real quick. So in order to add items to a section, you have to click on this icon right here, which is a 9 block icon that you'll see up here at the top right hand corner. If you click on that, then this will pop up, all of these features that Elementor has to offer. Some of you might have pro features. If not, then you'll scroll down immediately to the general section. But what we want to add in is the inner section, which gives us more columns. So I'm going to hold my mouse down on it, and I'm going to drag it, and I'll release it when a blue line pops up, and it's basically showing me where the said feature will end up once I release the mouse. Currently I have 2 columns here, and this really depends on how many columns you want. If you want more than just 2, you can simply find the gray box icon right here, right click on it, and hit add new column, and now we have 3. The same rule applies as if you think you have too many columns. You can right click on it again and hit delete. If I think I want to make my content wider and leave less space around it, then I can simply click on the edit section button again, and you see this little scroll bar here where you can drag the little ball here, the circle here, and you can determine just how wide you want your content to be. Now, I'm not going into too much depth in all of this because I want to focus on someone who's just learning how to use this program. So it's not going to look exactly like the section up above. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. So next, let's say we want to add in our image. Once again, you click on the 9 dots and you can see the image box right here at the top. But if, let's say for instance, I didn't see image up here and I really need an image to put into my column section right here, another thing you can do is you can search for the widget up here in the search bar. So if I was to type in image, then everything with the word image in it will pop up for you. So I'm going to drag it in the column that I want, and automatically you'll get this box that'll pop up specifically for the image feature, and it'll tell you to choose your image. You click on that and you'll be introduced to your media gallery. Pick the image of your choosing. Okay. And then you hit insert media on the bottom right hand corner. And there's your image. You can edit this image in various ways. You can tell it what size you want it, or you can give it a custom width and height and apply it. Make it full. You can make it a thumbnail. We're going to leave it in full. Okay. You can add a caption. You can even add a link to it if you want somebody to be able to click on it. You can hit the gears and it'll tell, and you can give it the option that when they click on the image, that whatever link is attached to the image, it'll open that link in a new tab instead of taking them directly to the source. If you click up here on the top and you see the style icon, if you click on it, you can go even further into manipulating your image. You can choose how wide you want the image. You can give it an opacity, make it transparent, or you can make it fully opaque. There's even a hover option you can do when you click on the hover icon here, and you can say that when someone hovers their mouse over it, this is what happens. There's a whole lot of options you can do here. There's a hover animation where when someone hovers over it, not only is there an opacity, but it can shrink. There's a lot of things you can utilize here. So let's take all that off. Let's just delete this so we can reset. Now let's say you want to add your heading or your text here. Let's add in a heading. So once again, nine boxes or 9 blocks. We're going to grab this heading here, and I'm going to center it, and I'm going to change this to Summit Eagles Rule. Oh yeah. And then I'm going to add in a little paragraph underneath this. But before I do that, let's do some styling to this Summit Eagles rule. So we're going to hit Style, and I can change the color of this to anything that I want. So first you would raise this first bar up so that you can get our color in. And let's choose the same color as our eagle. Let's go with green. I don't know if I'll be able to get the exact green, but we'll roll with what we can get. Next is the topography. So we're going to click on this pencil here, and if you hit the drop down arrow next to family, this is where you can choose what font style you want to use. There's so many because a lot of them are pulled from the Google Fonts database, so there's just a lot you can choose from, but we're just going to use Lato. Okay, you can choose what font size you want, which is 26. You can give it a shadow if you want. And we're going to stop there for that one, because once again I don't want to make this too complicated. And finally we're going to add in our text. So we're going to grab the text editor and we're going to put this underneath. There's our little excerpt. You can put whatever you want in here. Again, styling, we're going to change the text color to black. And the topography, choose what font you want. We're going to go with Roboto. And we're going to keep the size the same. And we're going to center it. One final thing, we're going to change the background of the section. So we're going to click on Edit Section here. We're going to go to Style. And background type, you're going to hit the pencil, Image. And you can either choose what image you want as your background here, and automatically it's the background, and you can change what size you want. Auto. Or if you don't want an image as the background, and you can do position here. Let's do center. And that moves the image in the background to in a certain position that you like. If you don't want a background image, you can simply go to color here. And once again, choose from the color picker. And we're going to go with... It's going to go with blue. And yeah, that's how you make sections. Different sections. And you can even drag if I don't want the image on the left hand side here, I can just hold down my mouse button on this gray icon and move it over. And that's as far as I'm going with this particular features on Elementor. I'm just going through the mere basics on how to work up a section of your own. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact Freedom Creative 336-602-1901. Have a good one.